Hey guys, welcome to another MapleStory video, and in this video I'm going to be not really covering over, but I'm going to be talking over my Wind Archer power leveling livestream VOD that's going to be covered from 140 to 180. Now, usually when I do these kinds of videos, I just time-lapse it and I put music over it, and it's pretty fun seeing the experience bar go up very quickly, but after a certain point in time, or depending on what class I'm playing, it gets kind of boring to watch. For Wind Archer in particular, I don't think it's going to be really that fun to watch even if you time-lapse it, just because I use one skill the entire time. Also, people are wondering why I started at level 140, it's because I already have a Wind Archer at 140, and I don't really see a reason to make a new one from scratch, just because the first 120 levels are, in my opinion, despite being the fastest, not the most interesting to watch because you don't really use too many skills. So, I'm taking a page out of David's book and doing what he liked to do way back when, 2011, 2012, when he did his own leveling videos, and just do some commentary over it. Now, I am pretty bad when it comes to doing structured commentary. Although, I wouldn't really call it structured commentary, it's just mostly storytelling. But I wanted to do a little bit of that myself, because I do love talking about conversational stuff. There's actually one topic that I want to do. Or rather, there was one topic I wanted to talk about that actually came up during stream that I had a great time talking about with my stream viewers. Before I do, just want to say thank you guys so much for attending the stream. The next class I'll be power leveling is going to be a Shade, and then after that we'll reopen the poll and see what you guys want me to do next. But I do apologize if this video is going to be a little rambly. I think it's a little bit better than time-lapsing though, and I don't know how many of you guys like to hear me ramble. But yeah. So, the topic in particular that I want to talk about is the topic that was brought up during livestream. I don't know how I even reached that topic to begin with, but it was the concept of what you would do, or rather, is it physically possible for one single person to spend $1 billion on disposable things that they want to purchase? Now, what I mean by that is $1 billion worth of stuff that cannot be reinvested, so like you can't spend it on houses or like real estate to flip it and get more money. You can't spend it on investments or stocks or anything like that. It has to be spent on perishable / like consumable things, you know, going out to eat, vacation, clothes, movies, video games, alcohol, drugs. No, not drugs. And I don't really think it's possible, because you can say that alright, mind you, it's very easy to spend $1 billion. But if we consider it like, I think I know how the topic even came to place. I was talking about how it was the age-old debate of money equals happiness, and my stance on that is that money does not directly equate to happiness. However, money is required for happiness, because the way I see it, money buys security. Security lowers stress, and stress prevents happiness, because you can't really, it's good to have a little bit of stress. A person can be stressed out and still have a relatively enjoyable life, but if you have too much stress, I don't care how good you are or how happy you think you are, if you're really, really stressed out, or if there's a lot of things that are bothering you, then you're not actually happy. So to me, there's no maximum amount of money that you need to be happy, but there's definitely a minimum. As in, a person, most of the time, people who are happy are also financially comfortable. There's a very big correlation to that. There's no I wouldn't say there's a causality behind it, but it's just, if you don't have enough money to make ends meet, to pay your bills, put food on the table, and occasionally treat yourself every once in a while, then I wouldn't really consider that to like living yourself to the full. So I do understand that you do need money, but it comes to a point where after a certain amount of money, any more than that just doesn't really matter. It's kind of like a diminishing return graph, or square root of x. I'm sure you guys know what that looks like. So that led to this topic of, if I had $1 billion, like, would I really need $1 billion? Does anyone actually need $1 billion? If I had $1 billion, I'll probably spend more than 80% of it giving it away to people, because I myself am pretty low maintenance. I would love a nice car and a nice house, but even then, if I were to pick up like a dream car, my dream car is either a Nissan GTR or a McLaren, any McLaren. So that's probably one there, but they're what, $500,000, maybe $1 million if I like go all out on the specs. If I choose to go for a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, or Bugatti, then maybe that'll go up to like 1 or 2. But that's it. And then a nice house, even if you get like one of the best houses possible in one of the most expensive areas. I am aware that there is a $2 billion house in India, but like a very nice house with a very nice front yard, backyard, maybe a couple extra acres of land to do whatever I want with it, that would be 10, 15 million at most. And then after that, that's about it. There's nothing really much else that I want in terms of like very expensive stuff. Probably some good accessories, I guess. I do want to get a Rolex watch. I think that'd be also something. But what, a Rolex watch is maybe 5 digits most? I still have what, $980 million to go? Like, what are you gonna spend that on? I'm trying to figure out, and we spent the entire live stream trying to figure out if it is actually physically possible to spend $1 billion. Now, Sachin, in the live stream, I'm sure you guys have heard of Sachin multiple times. He's my best friend, and he was very kind enough to HS me and buff me on his Phantom, so thank you so much for that. But Sachin and I got into this like minor argument about whether or not he could actually spend $1 billion. And he told me that he would be able to spend it by traveling and buying all the Gucci rings that he wanted. And I'm like, but there is no way that equates to $1 billion. Like, he's telling me that I overestimate how much $1 billion is, and I'm telling him that he underestimates how much $1 billion is. Can you actually though? And mind you, it has to be on things that you want to purchase and things that you will actually use. Obviously, you can take a lighter and gasoline, take that $1 billion, turn it into cash, put it in a pile, then pour gasoline all over and throw the lighter in there, and boom, you just wasted $1 billion. But is there anything in the world, or any combined total of things in the world, that can actually equate to $1 billion in your lifetime? Even if you live extravagantly, as in wastefully extravagantly. Like, let's say you buy the most expensive coffee, the most expensive, maybe let's say you fly a private jet, let's say you buy a helicopter and go, let's say you do everything extremely expensively. I still don't think that'll put a dent in $1 billion. Even some of the biggest companies in the world, companies with hundreds of employees, maybe thousands of employees, and thousands of millions of products in their inventory, don't get close to $1 billion, except for like the big ones like Amazon and Microsoft and stuff like that. To what extent can a single person spend $1 billion for? And I don't think you can. I mean, if someone wants to prove me wrong, feel free to. But it's just like, if you get to that point, does a single person really need that much? And I think if I look at it that way, money really doesn't attribute to that much significance to a person's life, because there's only so much material can do for you. I don't even need that much, honestly. That's like overstretching it too, because I'm perfectly content with going for, just driving a Honda Civic my whole life. I have a Honda Civic 2013. Never did me wrong. And a nice, even an apartment. I wouldn't have a problem with an apartment. So like at that point, why do people feel so inclined to want to have an insane amount of money? And then I guess you could say, well, all right. You know how there's the whole thing about how the only people who don't seem to need any money are rich people? And I think like people look at that in a very negative light, but I think it's just because maybe wealthy people they slowly begin to understand the insignificance of money after a certain point. Because you see a lot of wealthy people, even the multi-billionaires, who drive random, a perfectly regular car. Maybe they might have like a weekend car, and then they just live in a nice house just because, like, do they really need anything else after that? I think there's a lot of stock, especially in this day and age, on materials. Heck, I spend a lot on video games. But even then, like, if you had $1 billion, it's like, okay, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna get every single MapleStory character to 80k stat? I can probably fund the entire MapleStory community with $1 billion. Maybe, I don't know. Alright, anyways. Kind of rambled on a little bit too long, but I'm trying to really think this out. Like, does a person ever really need $1 billion? I mean, of course, I would like more money. There's no denying that. I definitely would enjoy having more money than I do right now. But if you reach like the super high point of 10 digits worth or 12 digits worth of money, 10 digits, do you really need that much? I'm thinking to myself, does a person ever really need that much? But let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. It's because like I'm actually curious if a person can make use of $1 billion to be satisfied in their life. $1 million? Well, with inflation nowadays, that's actually quite low. But $1 billion? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of dough. I'd probably give away like 90% of it because I don't need that much. But yeah, alright, anyways, I'm gonna end off the video here. I would keep rambling for another 30 more minutes, but then you guys would lose your attention. Or lose your guys' attention span if I haven't already. But yeah, just let me know in the comment section below what you guys would think about this whole topic, if how much money means to you. If you had $1 billion, what would you spend it on? And I'm sure a lot of people would just use that money to help other people, the people who don't have it, because I don't think there's ever one person who actually needs that kind of money in their life. to be content. Even the most materialistic people in the world. But yeah, alright, thanks so much for watching, guys. Let me know, also one more thing, if you enjoyed this type of commentary or if you would prefer to have just time-lapse power leveling. I enjoy it a little bit, because I do enjoy chit-chatting with you guys. I'll go ahead and see you guys again soon in the next video. Take care.